This is Evil for All Time, a Marxist manifesto. I'm your host and author, Kenneth Neal, bringing you Volume 1, Numero Uno, to this online podcast. The opening sequence is Escala with the track entitled Children, the Jerome Isma-I remix, originally composed by Robert Miles. We'll start off with a intro/bio of myself, and then we'll go into today's topic, Herman Cain, the organ grinder monkey. Yes, that's correct. So enter Kenneth Neal. It's myself. You can call me Ken for short. Multimedia journalist / activist, also a scholarship-winning poet and a sci-fi novelist by trade. The premise of this work would be considered to be the fusion from the likes of Frederick Douglass, Stan Lee, Harvey Milk, and Karl Marx. A social journalist doing my part to promote cultural and class destruction awareness with my blog, and I invite you to a challenging conversation detailing critical points within modern capitalism and Christianity. Once you hop over to my blog, when you see Karl Marx, you know you've reached the right destination. Evil for All Time, or EFAT for short, will provide frequent correspondence towards living in this modern age, and coincidentally, detailing how we have made little social change for the past 150 years. EFAT is my personal manifesto that covers eugenics, African American empowerment, and the numerous metaphysical bonds humans have to Mother Earth. It holds religious and governmental motives accountable for the breakdown of modern society, who has also set intentional goals to profit off of human global misery. If you have any questions in regards to my work, feel free to let me know. So, onward and upwards, we're going over to Mr. Herman Cain, the organ grinder monkey. If you would do me the honor and just listening to this lunacy here.
Well, just so I can clarify this for the media, this may be a breaking news announcement for the media. I am the Koch brothers' brother from another mother. Yes, I'm their brother from another mother, and proud of it.
And just listen to that. Once a mighty group has fallen into tyranny. Can someone please get him a fez and a tight-fitting vest, please? And just put him outside with a jar and he'll dance for your amusement while you empty your pockets for lost change. If you listen closely, or if you've seen the press release of this video, you can notice a clapping old, pale man, still alive with the use of metal and screws. He's a spectator in the background expressing his enthusiasm by rising to his feet. You can see the old guy burning off the remaining calories he's liable to exhaust in the midst of conspiring to commit generational corporate plunder. They stand at the mantle of the GOP's Americans for Prosperity. The GOP, which boastfully stands for the Grand Old Party, a resourceful collective that appeared to have lofty intentions to maintain an idyllic American frontier, back when the mantra of "In God We Trust" was upheld with pride and traditionalism, when statistically the white male had his weight in gold without worrying about any lip from outsiders, and women in particular. Americans for Prosperity, why don't they just stop trying to talk in code and trying to be clever? They only want a certain sector of Americans to retain any notion of wealth or prosperity. The concept of prosperity never included those of the lesser class. No, they were only meant to turn the cogs into dusted drapes, similar to that popular movie The Help that I just couldn't bear to sit down and watch myself. But the grandest gesture of supremacy has been achieved once they successfully trained one of their kind to arrange their intention, their self-intention. No need to sully the hands of the investor class, for heaven's sake. Allow the domesticated mongrel to execute upon command. After all, they've invested a large sum to train and brainwash him. Malcolm X also said, if you're not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. It's counterclockwise intuitiveness. I'm still trying to digest how this is acceptable in our way of life, but it is. And means of the superstructure remain to stand both intact and holding strong throughout all these years. Religious, governmental, and acceptable pseudo-sexual practices are infused in our current society, reinforcing the need by the ultra-wealthy, those top 2% income landowners, to maintain their idea of social balance, thereby continuing the fallacy of receiving and achieving the American dream, quote, American dream, to the masses, who would birth and pass under marginal working middle-class conditions. Middle equals working equals lesser class, which are all very much expendable and oppressed under the gaze of the prevailing ruling class. No need to sit and watch the finest breed of horse perform a timed sequence at an equestrian competition. No, for the greatest reward, the greatest rush of adrenaline is attained once you see the animal, the beast, that you have tamed and released back into the wild. And you can also see the Judas breed roach in that Mimic movie. It's pretty much an allegory for this type of representation.
Since it has proven to be virtually immune to chemical control, we had to find a new avenue of attack. We recombined DNA to create a biological counteragent. We call it the Judas breed.
Honestly, I Google mapped the word equestrian in the Atlanta area, and there are way too many locations I expected to see in our society's economic downturn. I thought all of us were having to trim our expenses and reduce our spending budgets, but guess equestrian facilities gotta earn an income as well, so they too must be impacted by our recession, no less.